Hi, today we will see the behavior of closed join in comparison with other joins such as full outer or any other join like inner join, or you can say the left and right outer join. So here we have data about two different tables. One is our fact table, which contains data about the call history, about the students, and what kind of call they have done. Okay, and in the second table we have dimension, the details about our dimension, like what is student ID, is it active or not. So our problem is to analyze the relationship between the admission calls table and the student call, and the student, what are the student outcomes, call outcomes. So the dimension table is will be used just to bring the information about the student, and our main work is with this admission calls table. So in this problem we want to examine the different behaviors of student calls, and what will be what will the patterns to explore about their call comparisons, so that we can decide in the future that what kind of call groups were successful, and what kind of call outcomes, and in comparison to the event type and their call groups can happen in the future, to which will lead the most student admissions. Alright, so this is our problem, and we have our data like this and the table, and we will be analyzing this data. So first we will check what is in the admission calls table. So let's check it. Okay, so we have call time, call IDs, what are their call outcomes, are the student interested, not responded, and is there any callback requested, and what are their call groups. Call groups are basically the the group of calls, like right. So let's check in what's inside the admission calls table. So here we have call time, call ID, call outcome, and what from which call group the call is initiated, and the corresponding student IDs and IDs and their event types. Alright, so the next table is our dimension table, in which we simply have the student IDs and their active or inactive status. Right, so our problem was to analyze the relationship between the calls data and what are their call outcomes. So what we can do here is, I have written an SQL statement already here to with in relationship with the admission calls table and with the dimension table. Alright, so this is a simple select statement with which will be joining our main fact table with the dimension table, and of course we are using left hand so that we can have all the rows coming from our fact table, rather instead of the fact that is it mentioned in the dimension table or not. Alright, so we are getting all the rows from the fact table. Alright, so and here we are having our on condition for this left join, in which we are just comparing our student IDs with the student IDs in our fact table. Alright, so now for getting the all the core outcomes which are present in the our dimension tables, we are using a CDE statement, in which we are having we are getting all the call outcomes, all the distinct call outcomes, so that we can do a cross join. So now you will think that what is the need to use the cross join here. Okay, so we want to check that if there is any call outcome for which, if there is any call outcome for which the original call outcome is not present. Alright, so this is like just to check that is there any kind of call outcome for which there is no data present in our fact table. So for this we want to see that cross join, and this is our condition that even type should be in this and this category, and core outcome should not equal to not interested. Okay, all right. So we don't want to check if there is a student who is not interested, so we don't want to check the behavior of that type of call. All right, so we are simply cross joining with our core outcomes table so that we can have the picture of our data like this. So what we can we do wanna achieve with that kind of picture. All right, so I'll generate a Tableau worksheet in which you are gonna see it more visually, and it would be easier for you to understand that why do we need to compare it with all the call outcomes, all the possible call outcome pairing, and what we gonna achieve with this. Okay, so we wanna check that if original call outcome is equal to the our distinct call outcomes, each distinct call outcome, then we want to check that okay, this is the data that we want to aggregate, and we also want to check it that if there is any call outcome that do not match within the time frame that we wanna check. Okay, so let's clear this concept further by just jumping into our Tableau sheet. Okay, so here's our Tableau sheet.